Hello, my name is Janis Day, and we're in Central Oregon, and this is my tiny house. My house is 28 by 8.5 feet, is cedar-sided with black trim, and I'm on a 28-acre horse ranch in Central Oregon. I have the most beautiful mountain views of the Central Oregon Cascades. It is wonderful to sit out on my deck with the fire pit and watch the sunset every night. I want you to come on in and see the inside of my house. Welcome to my tiny house. It's 295 square feet, and I've lived here for 7 years. The biggest thing I wanted in a tiny house was a downstairs master bedroom. That was huge, especially if you have any kind of disability whatsoever or plan to live in it long term. We're here in my kitchen, and one of the things I had to have was a farmhouse sink. It is absolutely my favorite thing to have. I just love it. And then I wanted butcher block countertops, and I stained them to match the ceiling in my tiny house. The other thing I upgraded after my build was a new propane stove. As a cook, you know, an absolute must-have. And then I have tons of space in my cupboards. I used a Lazy Susan up here to make more storage space for the high cupboard. As you can see, they're pretty full. I'm not your typical minimalist. I'm so lucky. I have 3 big, huge drawers. These hold all my little kitchen gadgets. And I have lots because I love to cook. And then this is my food storage, which doesn't always hold everything, and the top of the fridge gets the overflow. And then I have a great refrigerator that's apartment size, and it's plenty big for one person. You don't need a full-size refrigerator. I mean, I'm 20 miles from town, and apartment size refrigerator is still just plenty of space for one person. The space is so functional. It's just so easy to get to everything. I can reach everything in this space. The stove is right here, the refrigerator's right here. Everything is within easy reach, and there's still plenty of counter space. And to be honest with you, when I'm cooling cookies and stuff, I use the stairs. I just added these baskets. There's 2 on the side of the fridge and 1 here. And you don't have to use them for just fruits and vegetables. I actually have granola bars and C's lollipops in this one. That colander up there is not just pretty, it's actually the one I use. Sometimes in tiny houses, just pretty, it has to be functional too. There's a loft right up there, and that's my storage loft. It's great for storing anything that you don't need all the time. I actually store one of my suitcase bags. I have to use a ladder to get up there, and I actually use an industrial ladder, and I'm not real big on using ladders. So that is one of the 2 things I would change in the tiny house if I could rebuild. After living in it for 7 years, I would have done a dual staircase so I could get to that loft without a ladder. The only other thing I would change is actually building a little bit longer, but I really don't need the space if it comes down to it. I think having only 2 things you would change in a tiny house after 7 years of living in it is pretty inconsequential. I enjoy the freedom of tiny house living. I love the independence it gives me. I got married at 18 years old. 9 days after my 18th birthday, I was married. And I never lived on my own. So I went from my parents to my husband, and then I went from my husband to my mother when I got divorced, and lived with her for 8 years as I licked my wounds from being divorced, because I just did not take that very well. Didn't know what to do with myself after I got divorced. I had no idea what to do. And luckily my mom was very patient. So it's given me a whole new life. It's given me everything I ever dreamed of. I am 54 years old. I'm disabled. I dog sit for friends and family just for something to do. Tiny house living gives me flexibility. I'm able to go away and leave the house and not have to worry about it. It doesn't take me hours to clean the house. Matter of fact, I usually have a housekeeper come in because of my disability. And because it's a small house, it doesn't take very long, so it doesn't cost me very much. And it's the perfect size for one person. It's the perfect lifestyle. I don't know why everybody doesn't do this. I really don't. So the bathroom is one of my favorite rooms in the house because it was gutted and redone a few years ago when the leak in the toilet was found. I spent a little extra money redoing the bathroom, and the tile floor is one of my favorite things. It's just beautiful, and my contractor did a fabulous job. The shower may look small, but it's actually quite roomy and is plenty big enough. And I have a washer-dryer combo. Some people may not like washer-dryer combos, but I find them extremely efficient. I would never go back to a split washer and dryer. I love how you don't have to split taking your laundry out of the washer and into the dryer. It just, you put it in and you're done. And when it's done, you're done. The glass shelves I like because they don't darken the room. They're really light and bright, and they give a sense of dimension to the room instead of making it seem darker. I love this vanity, and I love the basket down on the bottom. It gives it more room. The basket actually holds an incredible amount of stuff. I went for years without a mirror in this house, except for what was on either the medicine cabinet that used to be here or the mirror on the wall. And I finally figured out all I needed to do was hang a mirror on the door. So I hung a full-length mirror on the door of the bathroom, and it works perfect. When the door's closed, it gives dimension to the kitchen and makes the kitchen and living room feel bigger. So, I mean, it served two purposes. So this is my living room, and I love it. I love the high ceilings. It's just wonderful to have all this airy space. And I have a nice room for a big TV. It's 44-inch. But the best part about this living room is this built-in couch. I see people with regular couches, but I'm like, you don't have what I have. There is a ton of storage underneath this couch. And you would not believe how much I can fit in here. Because I like to cook, I have extra appliances and extra pots and pans and extra stoneware from Pampered Chef and everything else stuffed under here. So my couch is really comfortable. I had custom-made cushions, and they're 7 years old and they're still comfortable. This actually makes into a bed, so I have another piece that slides in here, but you actually don't even need it because this couch is so wide. And I sleep here when I have guests from out of town, and of course I give them the bed because that's what a good hostess does. My windows on this side of the house are all tinted. I had them tinted for two reasons, one for privacy and one to protect me from the sun because I face west and it gets hot here in the summer. When they weren't tinted, it used to get so hot in here, and it would make the mini split air conditioner work so much harder. And the tinting was actually my mom's idea, and it was great. I don't think I would have ever thought of it. And it was very inexpensive. So on this side of my house, I have storage, but I also have these great pull-out stairs that lead up to my loft. And it also works great as a step stool for my kitchen, which is awesome because, once again, dual purpose in a tiny house. I have shoe storage under here. I have more shoe storage because I have a shoe fetish. And then I have my awesome closet, which was another must-have in my tiny house. I had to have a hanging closet. As you can see, I have too many clothes. Up these stairs is probably my second favorite room in the house besides the bathroom, which is my loft. It is my office and my closet and my meditation space. And it is absolutely my favorite place to be, just to chill. So up there is my desk, which I had custom built. It's a walnut desk with a black inlay. It is absolutely gorgeous, and I had it custom built by a local artist, and then I had the legs made separately by another company so they would be exactly right height for underneath the window in the loft. And then I had the dresser built also by another local craftsman, and it is painted with white paint and dark stain trim to match the house. You can't stand up in my loft, but the headroom doesn't bother me. I like the cozy feel of the loft. And back here is my bedroom, and I have a beautiful barn door that was built by my builder. It's absolutely beautiful. And in here is my master bedroom. I love this bedroom. And one of the things I love the most is the storage. Again, the bed lifts up on hydraulics and is easy to open, and it's of course full of toiletries and summer clothes right now because of course it's winter. All the good things that can't be out all year round. It's a great place for storing those things. Making the bed is so much easier because it's downstairs. If this had been in a loft, I would be in so much trouble. I have complex regional pain syndrome, and if I had had to make this bed in a loft, I don't think I could have done it. I don't think I'd still be living tiny. I've got 2 big windows that open and then French doors leading off into the deck. It makes me so happy to have all this natural light. I also have curtains on the windows because in the summer, even with the tint, these 2 windows get awfully hot and I can close the curtains, but I still have natural light coming in those 2 windows so it doesn't get dark in here, which makes it really nice. Up above the bed, I added 2 new light fixtures, but the cool thing is they're battery operated, and I highly recommend them if you have to add lights. They work on a remote, they look fabulous, and they work great for nighttime reading or just a little light for the evening, and you don't have to run electricity to them. And I love my nightstand floating tables. They're just perfect. I've been in this house for 7 years, and I have no intentions of ever leaving it. It's my home, it's my sanctuary. I love this house until I can't either make it up the stairs anymore or I'm just too old. This is going to be my home. I've had troubles with my build, and I don't want anybody who's building to worry about having the same troubles I had, because there are great builders out there. But I've spent $30,000 fixing my tiny house above and beyond what I paid for it. But I had a water leak in my toilet for 3 years that went unfound, and it rotted out my bathroom floor. My entire bathroom had to be gutted, and when it was gutted, we found there was no vapor barrier in my tile shower. There was no vapor barrier in my tile floor, which didn't help the rotting situation. There was black mold all over my bathroom. I was living with black mold for 3 years. They put shark bite plumbing in the house, and I had a line freeze during the winter and ended up having to rip the whole end off the house and replace all the shark bite plumbing in the south wall, put all new siding, re-stain the entire house, repaint the entire house. I mean, it's literally been $30,000 of one thing after another. But I still would not trade this house for anything. If you're going to build with someone, I highly suggest you do more research on a builder, Do background. If there's any red flags, don't build with them. I researched the builder. I went and saw the tiny house several times while it was being built. I had a contract. I had a warranty. I thought I had done everything right. I really did. And it still wasn't enough. So the biggest thing I can say is make sure you have a long-term good builder, somebody that's been in business for a long time. The original price of my tiny house was $76,000. It was a great price. You know, even with the $30,000, this house is still within a decent price. After my divorce, I'd been living with my mother for 8 years. I didn't know what to do. So my mother decided to give me my inheritance because I had been researching tiny houses for probably at least 5 years. And she wanted to make sure I had a roof over my head before she passed away that I could afford on my disability. My mother gave me my inheritance early before she passed away so that it wouldn't be taxed the same way. She wanted to give it to me so she could enjoy watching me enjoy what she gave me. And she actually loves coming up here and staying in the tiny house. With my disability, if it wasn't for tiny house living, I wouldn't make it. I couldn't afford an apartment in this area. The apartment alone would take my entire disability check. I mean, most apartments are more than my disability. The best place to find a parking spot is on Facebook Marketplace. That's where I found my spot that I'm in now. I've been here 2.5 years and I told the landlord I'm never leaving. They said, fine. I grew up in California. When I got divorced, I went home to my mother's in California. My mother was going to be moving in with her fiance, and that was another reason to buy the tiny. And I just wanted to come home to Oregon. This is my home. It's where I raised my son. I moved here at 18. It's just home. The tiny house gave me the chance to come home. It gave me everything. It gives you freedom, it gives you flexibility, it gives you independence, financial, physical. It just frees you up to live life.
Thank you for watching our video and for stopping by Tiny House Expedition. I'm Alexis.
And I'm Christian. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And for more tiny home tours and stories, click the videos below.
And join us on Instagram for bonus content,
including face-to-face conversations with us. We hope to see you there.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.